Welcome, my friends, to another tournament showdown featuring my Skaven, who shall be led by Lord Skrolk, facing off against the Beastmen of Slade X and Warker the Shadowgave. So yes, guys, we're going to be trying to deal with the massive Beastmen rush, and really, in my opinion, playing Skaven against Beastmen or heavy rush factions, it's really risky to go with gun lines. As such, I think Skaven, with not the most recent, but one of the more recent DLCs in the Prophet and the Warlock, has a really good kind of turtle defensive build and a counterpunch build. So essentially what you do is you get the Council Guard down here, and these guys are just aces, because normally Skaven units in general, when they are faced with a huge rush, especially units with terror and things like that, are going to turn and run. Your leadership's going to be left alone, they're going to get beaten down, they're going to be scared, and yeah, it's not going to be good. So having the Council Guard here, I think, is an absolute must against Beastmen. So firstly, Beastmen do have a multitude of large threats. They have Minotaurs, they have Razor Gore herds, just all sorts of big scary stuff. Gorbles, but I guess you don't see Gorbles too much in this matchup. But nonetheless, the anti-large bonus is very pertinent, but more importantly, they have 50 melee defense and they have 90 armor. So even facing off against like Gore herds and some of those high DPS, low AP units, these guys are going to be very, very durable. But more importantly, they give Guardian. So Skaven Lord sniping is very common. It was, I think, before the Prophet and the Warlock, it was something you saw like almost every game. They'd be going after your Lord. But Skaven Lords, I mean, Skrolk has okay leadership, but for the most part, they're relatively easy to break because they have low armor, at least in the case of Skrolk, who is probably the most common pick here. So they break your Lord, they chase him off, and then the rest of the Skaven, of course, being terrible leadership, would run. But things have changed a little bit, for sure. So Council Guard, then what you do from there, you have the Council Guard as your anchor to fall back on, and then you get the Blightscab's Plague Pack. So these guys are the secondary answer to terror. So these guys have insane leadership. You can see it's 101, so they're not going to be running easily, but more importantly, if you're playing like a Skaven Death Star or a defensive build against the Rush, you use Demagoguery here, which gives immunity to Psych. So this gives all nearby Skaven immune to Psychology, which is insanely good. Suddenly your Clan Rats and your Skaven Slaves aren't going to be running instantly when they're faced up against like terror-causing monsters. Aside from that, it's mainly chaff. I mean, we have a couple Clan Rats just to have some quote-unquote troop quality, but don't take that at face value there. We have a couple Skaven Slaves as well, some Rat Ogres just to have some mass, but more importantly here we have the Hell Pit Abomination, which causes terror, deals with large threats, really good against the pigs. We do also have a Plague Furnace, so it is going to be a long, grindy battle. The Beastmen are going to be coming in waves, they're going to be routing, coming back, so having that Mortis Engine effect from the Plague Priest plus a Skrolk's Rod of Corruption for AoE damage is insanely good. Last but not least, we do also get the Doom Wheel, and that's pretty much it. Like, the idea being is you don't leave any easy part for your opponent to get in. Like there's no Jezzails, there's no Rattling Gunners, there's no artillery pieces that they can really focus on. They're going to have to come right into that Porcupine. They're going to have to go into those spikes, and it's not going to be fun. And you can see my opponent here, the Great Slade X, and this is actually the third game in our best of three. You can see here he does have the Harpies up in the sky. I mean, a ton of harass units. He pretty much has like a full surround of like dogs. So had I had a gun line with his micro and like his pressure, I don't know, it would be very tough to defend. In my anecdotal experience, I highly recommend using the Skaven Death Star against Beastmen rushes. Now, if they know it's coming, things can change, but still, they have to respect the gun line too. So for Slade's build, a bunch of Harpies, again, still not bad here. They can rear charge my Clan Rats and other troops like that and break them off pretty quick. A combination of Gore Herds with shields to deal with gunline fire and just like good DPS, good pressure. Gore Herds are just such a good unit against Skaven. He does also have a couple Raiders, which are going to be instrumental here in his potential victory. He's going to need them to focus down the Plague Priest, need them to focus down the Hell Pit Abomination, both of which are going to be tough to deal with. He does also have some Piggies, and I really like the inclusion of the single Bestigor herd. I feel like this is like kind of a countermeasure against Storm Vermin play, because Bestigors will trash can Storm Vermin pretty hard in a straight fight. Last but not least, he's got Morker the Shadowgave. Always a competitive lord, probably the best of the Beastmen, simply because he heals and he brings like 2,000 gold worth of free value, and a Manticore Summoner with Amber Spears. That's pretty much it. So let's get the show on the road, guys, and see how this final match of this best of three goes. So the Harpies in the back going to be getting in position here, getting ready to swoop in on their prey, but like I said, not too many soft spots in the army. Really nice Flock of Doom, though, from Slade. He does overcast that, and the Wheel of Doom is going to be just crumping into the front lines. Going through these Beastmen, just getting a ton of value, but that Flock of Doom was so nice. You can see the HP damage it did to my Council Guard. It was also able to hit the Demagoguery pack or the Blightscab's Plague Pack here, so beautiful play so far. So the frontline engagement's about to be underway. You can see that these Gore Herds are going to be collapsing here in the front, and these ones over here are going to be meeting my front line as well. Rat Ogres will be surging in to engage with the Doom Wheel, and we honestly should be able to like instantly tear out these Gore Herds. They're going to be taking a ton of damage really quick. So here we're going to be falling back and kind of forming a bit of a flank denial, knowing that I'm very heavily surrounded. You can see I'm forming a bit of a formation here, just making sure that I don't get like fully enveloped, and if I do, there's not too many weak points in the force. Here in the front, we are able to break off those Gore Herds. The Terror from the Doom Wheel and the Hell Pit definitely doing good work, and this is exactly what I want. I want a blob fight here because I have the Mortis Engine effect, I have a Hell Pit Abomination, I have Skrolk, I have a Doom Wheel, I have so much terror and so much perpetual damage coming in from the Mortis Engine effect, plus Skrolk's Rod of Corruption, Libra Bubonicus. that I should be able to win this fight fairly easily in this center pocket here. So more Harpies are being committed, but you can see the Beastmen certainly not up to the task of that. They're fighting a bunch of spears, they're fighting against Plague Monk Sensor Bears, which also do discourage leadership, but that Flock of Doom is going to be very punishing, so though I do break off his forces, it's pretty common for Beastmen, and he is able to retaliate with a beautiful Flock of Doom, but I do also have less with Phil, so there's going to be a lot of poison damage going down here as well. So we do break that, and now there's a bit of an opening to the archers, but still just kind of staying in the pocket here. You can see Morker the Shadowgave just fighting amongst the filth and the poison, but we're going to be focusing him. So I will be using Libra Bubonicus, and normally focusing Morker isn't the best idea. He's very, very tough to kill, and if you invest too many resources in trying to kill him and you fail, you're probably going to lose the game. But in this case, I felt like I had a pretty good advantage here. I have the Sensor Bears, I have a lot of other troops, so I summoned some Plague Monks right here with Skrulk, and those Plague Monks are going to be surging back here, going after the not Blackhorn Ravagers, but these archers back here in the back line. But they might get a little bit mucked up by these Ungor Spearman herds. So down here, Morker is being afflicted by the Libra Bubonicus. You can see Lord Skrulk going to be getting in there. I do also have the Contamination coming in from the Sensor Bear, so they tank the leadership of these like low-tier Beastman chaff units, and now they're going to be swarming in on top of Morker. Now, as far as the other large units go, the Helped Abomination is basically just standing on the Council Guard at the back, fending off the backline threats, including the Gore Herds and some of these other units. Now, Slade has done a pretty good job compromising this top flank. I mean, my Clan Rats with spears and my other units are buckling off, so there's going to be a second kind of resurgence of Beastmen troops coming in here. Gore Herds and other guys, of course, going to be pounding into my Plague Pack. But really, I'm like, okay, I need to really just finish off his Lord here, so I'm pulling in all my elements. I have the Helped Abomination, I have Skrulk, and you can see that Morker is actually wavering here, which is great. I have the Council Guard providing Guardian to Skrulk, so he's getting that physical resist, and I believe Morker does do physical damage, although you would think that Morker would do magic damage. Yeah, that's actually the Plague Priest there, so Morker does do physical damage. Some of the Harpies here are going to be chasing off Clan Rats, it looks like, but no, he's actually going to be drifting about, maybe looking to get a rear charge, but what's really nice is like nothing is easy here. Now, the one thing I have had to take this entire game is the Flock of Dooms, and they've been really good. His Flock of Dooms have just been punishing my Plague Pack and these other troops, but, you know, the Rats, you know, fighting shoulder to shoulder in superior numbers, definitely quite happy in that situation. As a matter of fact, if anybody's read the Gotrek and Felix books, the Skaven are constantly talking about how, like, even though they hate each other, but they feel like very comfortable in greater numbers. It's kind of like this pack mentality, right? So yeah, you can see here that the Council Guard's still going, 69 models, that's right, that's what she said, and we do also have the Blight Scabs Plague Pack fighting pretty hard here. Morker might be able to get away, and the bounce power is going pretty heavily in my favor, but for example, if Morker were able to get away, heal up a little bit, come back and put some pressure on me, it could be a very dangerous situation, so I certainly need to pursue him, and basically I'm going to be attacking with Skrulk, chasing with all my might here, and using my summons to kind of keep that perpetual pressure on Morker. On top of that, the Plague Priest is going to be routing these guys off, getting that Mortis Engine effect, and it looks like the spawn summons are going to be dissipating rather quickly. On top of that, the Doom Wheel up on the high ground was able to penetrate after we pushed off the initial Beastmen rush and dealt with the one thing that could handle the Doom Wheel, which is basically the Razor Gore Herds. Razor Gore Herds are a very good answer against like Flares and Wheels because of their mass and AP. We pretty much have free range in the back line. You can see the Ungor Raiders and these other troops are going to be breaking off, and that is going to be all she wrote. Now, as far as the armies go, you guys can see that the Skaven kind of counterpunch defensive build is definitely very good against the Beastmen rush, and I can't tell you guys how many games I did try. Like, I would try and play gun lines or at least bring like 2 Jezzails like to pressure the Beastmen, but honestly, they do what Slade did. They go super wide, they don't give you any good targets, and they just kind of zerg all over your gun line, and it is so hard to defend, and oftentimes you're putting yourself in bad situations just to defend something, and you end up losing more money because you're like investing like all your halberds and elite troops to defend like a gun unit, which is basically just a lost cause. So as such, I do think that this is one of the more optimal ways to play against Beastmen, and it also goes for Tomb Kings as well. Tomb Kings will do something similar with Nehekara Horsemen and a bunch of infantry and Tomb Guard and stuff like that. So in my experience, the Skaven kind of counterpunch build definitely can work pretty well, and yeah, I mean, it could have some weaknesses for sure. I'm trying to think of a Beastman build that would be able to address both the Skaven defensive build plus the Skaven gun line. Let's actually go ahead and take a look at that. So very well played to my opponent, Slade X. If you guys want to see the breakdown of the tournament and see all the results and how everything went, this, of course, was one of the best of 3s I played in the tournament, so you guys can see that. But if you guys want to go see the full breakdown, it'll be in the comment section below. So very well played to Slade. And now, guys, excuse me, oh man, just got something caught in my throat there. We're going to be taking a look here at a Beastman build that I think might be viable. So let's look here. Let's go to the Foul Beastmen. So you really have to respect some of the big things. Maybe just bringing like more Raiders would be better. It's hard to say. I still think Morker is the best bet. Like, he's just so good. Summoning Spawn is just always effective. So maybe you mix in a couple Bestigors, and then you get a couple Gore Herds with shields, I think is solid. And then I do like the inclusion here of like a bunch of Ungor Spears and stuff like that. I don't know if you need the shields on them though, to be honest. You could probably just go like really cheap on them. So we'll just get like 4 of those. So from here, let's maybe go like a little bit wider with the Beastmen Daka. Just get like 5 Raiders or something. I think that might be pretty strong. Now, of course, we need a couple answers against some of the other things. So I think the Manticore summon is still going to be really good. Just summoning a Manticore to go after, putting him on foot, maybe? Yeah, a Flock of Doom and Manticore summon. I think he was totally hit it on the nail, or hit the nail on the head there. But although, I don't know. Think about it this way. If we go for a Deathcaster, we do lose the Manticore summon, which is really good at gooning Skaven Lords, but also you get Buna to deal with Council Guard, and Spirit Leech to snipe Skaven Lords. So it does carry some weight for sure. And you could even get a second Bray Shaman if you want to, and just get like a Manticore summon with that. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, but I think maybe trying this out could be pretty good. So we have the Bestigors. Now, okay, so we can win the infantry fight with the double Bestigor probably in this core. We can deal with Hellpits and Rat Ogres with the Ungor Raiders. So the next issue becomes the high mass unit. So we get a couple Razorgore Piggies, we get 2 of those guys, and then we could get the Butchers of Kalkengard. They'd probably actually be really good in sustained combat there. I'm trying to think if we want like more mobility. We have the pigs. Yeah, we could probably cut one of these. Let's get some hounds. The hounds are still like really important for chasing off things once they break. Harpies are quite good also, but this is kind of a different style of build. Let's cut one Raider here. I think that front line's more than enough. It's always tricky to make these like final cuts, you know? It's always tricky. Spawn could be interesting, but I don't think it'd be... I guess maybe getting some mass. Spawn can be focused down. If they go with a gunline build, though, I feel like you'll have enough pressure here with all these like troops and Chaos Warhounds and things like that. Maybe we cut 1 Archer. I think 4 could probably be enough. I'm just doing some theory crafting, guys, so bear with me. Gorbel's not bad. We could make some Gorbel, but maybe the Butchers of Kalkengard. So these guys can deal with mass. The Archers can focus down, you know, some of the bigger threats. You have Spirit Leech to deal with their elite troops. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something like this could work. It's like, it's a little bit less aggressive, but it's an idea. I'll give it a try next time I play against the Foul Skaven. So guys, thanks again for watching this tournament cast. Hopefully you enjoyed the game, plus the post-game breakdown. And stay tuned for more battles from that tournament, more battles from across the board. Good times to come. Take care, guys.